Good morning, good afternoon, good evening, and welcome along to episode 51 of the Sofa Manager Scottish Football Podcast. And on this week's show, John and I trailed along to one of the Scottish Cup semi-finals, Motherwell against Aberdeen. We were on the wrong end, as is typically so you'll hear about the positives, the negative experience, and the banterous things that happened along the way. John might have contributed to a fraudulent attendance figure, so stay tuned for why that might happen, and some good tips if you want to sneak into Scottish football grounds around the country, especially our national stadium. Of course, we'll review another pumping that occurred in the semi-finals, the Old Firm Derby, as well as covering our usual news, the ginger lad that Rangers are losing, along with some other bits and bobs, and talk a bit about St Mirren, who tied up the Championship this weekend. Well done them, so we'll be discussing that. Anyway, joining along with me for this week's show is, as I say, Scotland's most fraudulent supporter, John Brown.
Hello.
Welcome along, John. And the secret blue nose himself, it's Darren Gibson.
Hello.
Hello.
What? I was waiting on that.
What did you say?
Listen back, you'll hear it.
Hello.
I can't deal with hitting things already. Anyway, I am Scotland's rope-faced football announcer, Paul Lindsay, so let's get straight into it. Anyway, to our first story this week. Hello, by the way, John. Anyway. David Bates. How do we know David Bates, Darren?
David Bates. Oh, you love that song.
I know.
You just love it.
What is the song, Darren?
Bates.
Oh, come on. That's not how a Glaswegian would chant it. I put up on the Instagram today, Bates, oh no. Bates. Signing a 4-year deal with HSV Hamburg. Our resident Bundesliga correspondent, John Brown, will be very familiar with Hamburg's current position. Are you, John?
Mid-table obscurity.
I hear they're going to be relegated down to Bundesliga 2 next year, is the chat.
They'll be fine.
You think they'll be alright?
They're kind of hovering above. They should be okay. Cologne are going to go down. I think Mainz is down there. Freiburg, probably.
Well, every chance they might stay up then, according to our Bundesliga correspondent. A good move for him, you think?
A decent level.
It's a big step up from our league, though, isn't it?
Yes.
Only time I've seen him this season was defending against the likes of Alex Kubiak and Falkirk, which wasn't a difficult job on the day, truth be told. And I think it's a similar story across Scotland. So he's not going to be a man to go straight into the team, is he?
Well, for the development, if they do get relegated, which I think is unlikely, it's a good kind of position for him to kind of work through it. It's a 4-year deal, plenty of time to develop.
Yeah.
Although, to be fair, if you're going to compare, Oliver Burke going to Red Bull Leipzig never really caught on. I don't know if it's a good comparison or not, but I'll be curious to see if he progresses or if he ends up back up the road, tail between his legs.
To be honest, for me, I'm quite a sceptic about this. To make it abroad, you have to be
committed,
made of some stuff, and going into the Bundesliga is a tough league, especially for defenders. It's quite intense.
Yeah.
The football they play out there, and thinking of Scots that have gone abroad, like Oliver Burke, didn't really make it. The only person I can think of that really made a success of it was maybe Barry Douglas.
Yep.
Out in Turkey and Poland, who just got promoted this weekend with Wolves.
Uh-huh.
So congratulations, Barry, another internationalist in the Premier League.
Another left back in the Premier League.
Oh, that's true. That's awkward, isn't it? Well, at least in Scotland we're doing something right. Left back in the country while other internationals are taking place. So no, I think it's interesting. But how do you think it looks for Rangers, Darren, in terms of attracting players and try to keep their best, as usually would be a dead cert for them?
I know. Well, I was surprised that Bates went. Well, he's going to be going to Hamburg in the first place, but I think it makes it difficult for Rangers in terms of trying to attract players coming in. I think if they're going to lose, because Bates was one for the future too in terms of the youth. Mm-hmm. So I think if they're going to lose their youth players, and then obviously they're going to need to, by the looks of it, after the defeat to Celtic, they're going to need to get a brand new team in the summer anyway, by the way things are going. So we thought they were starting to turn things around, but after today's performance, it was really bad.
I know, we'll discuss it in more detail later, but I think the likes of Danny Wilson leaving earlier in the season, money was bandied about as the issue here. When you have like Bruno Alves, filling the bench on probably 3-4 times what Bates is on.
Huge money.
The thing about Bates is I never really understood, because he didn't play a lot. Looked into his appearances. He's had 17 appearances for Rangers. He's only been there, I think, a year, and a bit sporadically in the youth academy.
Mm-hmm.
And he's had a lot of injury issues, so to have played 17 games is actually fairly remarkable.
He has played quite well in the games that he's played in, so
He's been well liked, as we saw. Having a chant for yourself is no mean feat. Fans also chanting for Andy Halliday. We'll get to that later. Interestingly enough, other transfer rumours this week, not of the same ilk. Stephen McLean of St Johnstone rumoured to be signing a pre-contract agreement with Hearts.
That's a strange one, isn't it?
Aye. I mean, they're already loaded with strikers at the moment in terms of, Lafferty, Naismith.
Misfiring strikers at that as well.
Aye. And quite, Lafferty's ageing, as well.
Who's Naismith? And they were a fair whack.
Well, Naismith will obviously be going back in the summer. Whether he comes back to Hearts, I don't know.
Nah, maybe.
But yeah, McLean, aging striker, not a real goal scoring threat for St Johnstone. I mean,
No.
I know we spoke of earlier in the season that goals were their main issue. And to be honest, I rate the boy Kane higher than I do McLean.
I would agree entirely. Yep.
Kane over McLean. Catchy title. I hated him. He was rubbish at Aberdeen. Completely rubbish. Paid money for him from like Plymouth or something.
Oh dear.
And yeah, so I think it'd be a backup role for him. But a bit weird, isn't it?
A bit of a meh signing, to be honest.
Really weird.
I think
Apparently close to doing it, but St Johnstone, I don't think I'll be too fussed. They'll need to find another striker.
I'd quite like to get a Hearts fan's opinion on Craig Levein.
You think?
I have my own views. I don't think he's that great, but I'd be interested to know how they're kind of feeling about him just now. It's been a pretty forgettable season, I think would be the right word.
I would call it turbulent. At times for me they've looked robust and impressive, and there's just swathes of times where they've really struggled. I think tactically, defensively, they're one of the strongest sides in Scotland when everyone's fit.
Mm-hmm.
But the fluctuation in that side this year has been insane, with different injuries, like the average age of the bench is like 16, 17, which I think has to be applauded. And it's definitely a side for the future. And they want us to sign Aaron Hughes up for another year. Which should be 38, 39.
Like the equivalent of David McCracken.
Well, it's not far off. I'm moving gravestone at that point. No offence, Aaron, you're still alive and kicking but well,
footballing wise.
Hopefully you're kicking unless the strikers are running by you. That's all I'm saying. But yeah, if you are a Hearts fan, do write in, let us know. John, I'm sure, conduct some interviews with the Hearts fans as well. Also this week, some epic comebacks across European football. I think there's barely a game we can talk about where there wasn't an epic comeback, but it's got everyone talking again. And from the Champions League, where everyone was a bit like,
It's piqued the interest again in the Champions League. It was beginning to wane. It was very predictable.
Talk of the town, when I'm at school, all the school kids are talking about it, which is rare. It's usually all informs and, Fortnite, Victoria Royale and stuff like that. But
talking about football.
They were talking about Buffon. I was like, do you know who Buffon is? Yes. So it's very exciting, isn't it? What was the best comeback? Did you watch any of it, actually?
I watched the Roma game.
You would have watched the Roma.
I've seen that, yeah.
Fantastic.
Sorry.
Absolutely right.
Sorry, Dan.
It was great, though.
It was weird because it was literally the reverse result of what was in Barcelona, wasn't it?
Well, it was 4-1 in Barcelona.
Oh, right, so that the away goal
The
coming
away goal, done it.
Do you like away goals as a rule?
I do,
I
because
do, yeah.
it makes the first legs a wee bit more interesting.
Yeah.
And I never understood it as a youngster, More now. The thing is, Aberdeen have always gone out on away goals in European qualifying, and I'm sure we've always been scuppered by it in other Scottish teams, so it's a bit annoying. I did see the end of the Juventus Real Madrid game.
Oh yeah, that was
In
exciting.
cruel fashion.
Painful.
I think right decisions were made for the penalty, and Ronaldo would have stepped up and scored it.
Yeah. It's a emphatic penalty, to be fair, but Buffon, that was quite interesting too.
Well,
last game potentially.
He's subtle figure the rest.
He's retiring anyway. Isn't he?
Yeah.
well, he said he would have stayed on if they'd won the Champions League for the World Club. Oh no, the Super Cup, I think, was the only other game he would have played.
Mm-hmm.
This thing is, it's so difficult as a goalkeeper to influence your team, isn't it? To win championships and stuff like that. And think of how many greats would have never gotten to a big European final like that.
Yeah.
Well, that's it. I mean, he's won everything else. Fair enough, the Champions League's eluded him, but Juventus, compared to other sort of big clubs in Europe, maybe haven't been quite at the same position to win it.
No, I agree with that.
He was never at a Barcelona, a Man United, a Real Madrid.
Yeah, but at the same time, Juventus have been incredibly strong, particularly in recent seasons in European competition.
They've been strong, but I would always argue that Italian teams, especially at the moment, are nowhere near the kind of the expected level of a Spanish team, even an English team on their day. The Italians
Champions
ranked.
League final last year, Champions League semi-finals this year. They're really not up to scratch.
I don't
think they are.
The one thing I would give the Italian league this season is it has been quite competitive compared to usual. Usually you have Juventus running away with the league, but you've had Napoli getting closer. You've had Lazio and not Lazio and AC Milan and Milan obviously getting closer to the top two. So it's been a wee bit. I've been more interested in the Italian league this season because it has been more competitive than usual.
And it holds a kind of cult status as well in Britain.
Well, it used to be the league of choice. After Italia 90, there was a lot of money in Italian football to attract the biggest talent. You had the likes of the real Ronaldo, and some of the top players. And the top, defenders were always Italian. Weren't they? Some really exciting strikers and stuff.
Like a 78 rated Gaza.
Don't know what you're alluding to, John. Anyway, it would have been 78 rated though. Do you hear what he said to the director of Lazio at the time? Mm. Apparently, he said in Italian to the director of Lazio that his daughter had large jugulars in Italian. Apparently, after that, his playing career wasn't he wasn't allowed so much freedom on the pitch after that. So he was at the Newcastle game today.
He was.
I noticed that.
Waiting to come on. Well done then for their 2-1 victory. But no, even the Europa League was nuts. Absolutely bonkers.
Goal scorer.
Crazy results. I never managed to see any of it, but
I was watching initially the Arsenal CSKA Moscow game, changed over to the Marseille game, and immediately saw like a goal. Steaming at the back of the net, 8 minutes, it was 2-1, they go through like 5-3.
Payet played really well, seemingly.
He did. Yeah. Sorry, West Ham fans. Europa League's really interesting though, because we've got Arsenal, Atletico Madrid, Marseille, and an Italian team?
No,
Salzburg.
Well, did they put out Lazio?
Yep.
Yeah.
6-5 in aggregate.
But it's doing its job in that it is the kind of B tier teams, isn't it, of the leagues? The teams below the Champions League place. And that draw was actually quite exciting. There was a lot of interesting ties, be it like Leipzig, Marseille, or who were Lazio playing?
Lazio played Salzburg.
Salzburg was quite interesting.
Which is about the same level, so yeah.
So they're all kind of similarly sized teams and great atmospheres on them.
What would have been really interesting if Leipzig had put out Marseille. Mm-hmm. So you would have had a Marseille Salzburg semi-final, both owned by Red Bull.
Are Marseille on?
Salzburg.
Leipzig.
Yeah.
RB Leipzig and RB Salzburg. That could be an awkward one for this.
That would be awkward.
For UEFA fair play.
Well, I don't think there's any rules again. I don't know. There's probably some really dodgy things they're skirting there.
Bizarre.
Well, they're investing their money rightly. They've got their name on this podcast 3 times more than any other company, I don't think.
Other energy drinks are available.
Sponsorship also available for this podcast. Yep. Write in, literally give me £10 for another microphone stand, and I will shout your name out to the hilt. But there we go.
To the lilt, or
is that still a company? I've not had a lilt.
Lilt's amazing.
Oh yeah, Lilt's
it's amazing. I'm not doubting that, but I've just not had one in forever. Tell you what, we're going out after this for a Dr. Pepper, a Tizer, and some lilt.
A Red Cola.
Oh, Red Cola, good times. Head round to the newsagents. No done that in ages either. Anyway,
off topic.
Speaking of new experiences, I suppose. We were at the Scottish Cup semi-final at the weekend, John. Aberdeen versus Motherwell. The game we'll get to in a moment. More interesting was the away day experience we had, and what a day it was, Darren.
It was good fun.
It was good fun. I had a great time overall. Fantastic wee burger after the match to console ourselves and kind of distract from the misery that we just watched.
Just outside the stadium, yeah?
Just outside. Well, no, in town.
Anyway, in town, right.
You're not going to get a burger outside of Hampden. It's going to be dodgy. But outside the stadium, John did make a significant purchase. The Bruni turned red for the day.
Oh, yes, I've seen that photo.
Got a wee scarf. Yeah. No half and halves available. I was disappointed about that.
Well, less so.
I'm a big fan of half and halves. Quite a lot of good merch on the go, though.
I was quite surprised.
Yeah, I know.
I didn't expect anything, to be honest.
I was doing an eyeing about buying one of those like fishing hats, which I at the time called a Stone Roses hat. Like the casuals wear. The kind of lip all the way around them. They had those available for sale. They had a variety.
One or two people were sporting them as well.
A few people seem to be buying them.
Yeah.
So much merch had been bought by the Aberdeen fans. Been suckered in, big dafties. Daft dandies. So that was the first exciting thing of the day. Then we get up to the gate. We're not frisked actually, which was quite nice.
The guy kind of looked at us and went, "Nah, you look too soft."
You're not part of the hardcore casual. I see. I actually did find that partially offensive.
It's like we are not metropolitan
Yeah, I
enough.
know. I was wearing a cardigan, so it wasn't exactly hardcore.
Nothing to conceal.
So of course we get to the gate, and Hampden's such an efficiently run place. There's stewards everywhere. Not in the stud style.
There's no one there.
Nobody there. So John looks around. Do you want to tell this tale, John? I think you should tell this tale.
I will tell the tale. You get to the sort of kiosk bit where you're handing your ticket.
Oh,
to
yeah,
get
yeah.
ripped out. Nobody there. Nothing. But the wee clicker bit was there.
Oh, right, okay.
Are we just to click ourselves in? So I did.
He reaches it.
I did not reach in. It was
self-service.
It's like when we go to the development league, you just click yourself. Exactly the same principle. I was like, well, I've already had a steward look at my ticket. It's fine.
The only time development league information has actually come in useful to you, I would have never known that black button would have just tapped you through.
It's just a wee tap of it. It's
so
like,
he wanders through. The incompetent steward wanders back, looks at me like, did someone just go through? I'm like, aye, we do the ticket exchange. He's like, that's never happened before. I'm like, where were you? So the attendance at Hampden was maybe out by one. So shame they didn't double tap everyone to inflate the numbers.
No, he ripped my ticket. It was fine.
He ripped your ticket, but I'm talking if he tapped it twice to double.
Oh no, he wouldn't have.
The reported attendance.
Why would they do? Oh, okay, never mind.
See what I mean?
No.
What?
Why would they thing it twice? I was already through the gate.
Yeah, no, but to double the attendance figure that's bounced back to the.
How?
Does it only go when the thing rotates?
Ah.
Oh, right, okay. I thought you could tap it twice and just say there was 7,000 at a Falkirk game.
Well, I seen the lady at the train station had a wee clicker thing counting all the people going back.
Oh, did they?
Why
is that helpful?
I have no idea. Putting a 3-carriage train though, going through Mount Florida, that'll be about
how many people?
20,000 Aberdeen fans.
It wasn't that bad. I've been on much more cramped trains.
Aye.
We got a seat, so I don't know what you're complaining about.
No, I was quite content.
Speaking of rail transport, however, on the way back, John Brown was feeling excitable today. He was very much not himself. He's now not being treated as a hooligan in the stadium, decided to be more of a hooligan. So it was an absolutely blazing Aberdeen fan. Well, he wasn't blazing, but he had a can of Stella in his hand, so one of those guys.
All right, okay.
He'd put his backpack up in the kind of hold bit up on the top of the train. Not very well. So he leaves his can of Stella. There's a lovely blonde that sits opposite from him. He tries to get a chat with her. She's not having it. Quite really. Stick the headphones in. And of course, I see it happen in slow motion. Like the bag drops, Stella can all over her. And what do you say to that, John? What do you shout to that? More to the point.
Sue them.
Sue them. In the middle of the carriage. John just goes, sue them. I'm in stitches. I am like, if I could like ruffle, for lack of a better term, I completely would have done. But of course, I'm an eyeliner, this poor girl who's having to clean Stella, of all things, a bit of wife beater on her lap. And I'm howling with laughter. I think people are like, shame on you, but I'm laughing at what he said. It's just goes Sue out of nowhere. Absolutely nowhere. Absolutely hilarious.
Brilliant.
So well done, John. You made my day.
A little bit more bearable than the game.
Had to some way.
Took our mind off things. Funny as well because when Motherwell were celebrating, is it the Icelandic thunderclap or what's it called?
Thunderclap.
You could probably caught that after the game, depending on what Cal you decided to. But they were doing that, so every time they go, "Whoo," clear as day. This boy just said, "Wankers!"
Just echoes round the empty stadium as
well.
Yeah.
But it was the clarity of it that made it. Wanker! So it was the only thing. I think it was the only time Aberdeen fans were kind of giggling and smiling that day. But no, it was good. It was good. Beyond that, the game itself,
dreadful,
pretty bad.
Oh, it was awful.
I think you've got it in your top 3 worst football matches you've watched this season.
Yeah, it's up there.
I mean, a lot of people will have watched. Well, I don't think a lot of people will have watched it on television. We'll start with the positives. I think Motherwell, brilliant achievement. For a team not in the Old Firm to get to 2 finals in the same season. There's not many teams that can say that they've done that.
I don't know if anyone really could have done that. I would need to look back on the.
Well, Aberdeen did it last year, I think, because it was Celtic Aberdeen. It was Celtic Aberdeen.
Yeah, it was Celtic Aberdeen.
It was the top 2 in the league.
Yes, at the time. This year it looks like it's going to be. Well, no, it is Celtic and Motherwell.
Yep.
Celtic and Motherwell. So absolutely fantastic for them. Stephen Robinson, doing a fantastic job considering that was a brand new starting 11 at the start of the season.
Near enough, and losing Louis Moult and managing to replace him with an equally good striker. is a real unbelievable achievement.
Well, that's what I love about Motherwell, in that, now with the kind of more fan-focused running of the club, they've really tried hard to keep hold of their top talent. Like, bids in the summer for Chris Cadden. Moult they kept as long as they humanly possibly could have done.
Yep.
Mm-hmm.
And then, without Moult, to go out and find, as you say,
Curtis Main.
Curtis Main. Was it from Portsmouth or something?
Oh yeah, it was down south, some League,
Yeah.
League 2 team, but a fantastic bit of
Aye,
scouting.
great signing.
And Keepre's turned out to be fantastic. The midfield have done excellently. So
Bowman, Cadden was excellent.
I know. So a well-run organisation, strong recruitment. Fans were excellent. I thought there weren't many of them, which I think is a crying shame for a club to get to 2 semi-finals.
I don't know. No, there was a reasonable support for a 12-15 kick-off from both sets. Actually, Aberdeen support was unbelievable in numbers.
18.
Motherwell probably brought more than what Falkirk did for their
Possibly.
semi-final.
Yeah.
I'm trying to remember who got to the semi-finals last season. Was there a small? No, it would have been Old Firm, Aberdeen, and Hibs. So the 4 big teams. So it wouldn't have mattered what the crowd was.
Nah.
Provincial clubs, Motherwell probably had a real good turnout. And the biggest problem for themselves was the layout of their fans. It was driving me nuts.
Mm-hmm.
Why would you have a section in the main stand, in the east stand, in a big gap, and then you've got your other fans in the corner, and
I
a
noticed
huge
that,
gap round, and then there's some in the main stand. It's just
They
ridiculous.
should have just kept them in like the diagonal corner, like main stand, and just carried it round.
Well, why did they not just move the people that were in the corner round into the side stand
Why didn't they just
and match it all the way round?
Why didn't they just move, like what they did for Scotland and Costa Rica was just use the 2 main
The
stands?
2 main
Yeah.
stands.
Why
yeah.
not just use the 2 main stands?
I thought that's what they'd done. Yeah.
I think different price. I don't know. Didn't work out as well. But
Utterly infuriating.
the fans that were there did, see when they scored that third goal?
Oh, scenes.
Scenes,
It
as you would
was
say.
absolutely-
I did see that. I seen that was a bit of the game that I seen.
We spoke of, top our favourite things of Scottish football. They were absolutely buzzing.
going nuts. That's the best about Scottish football is
Aye.
the kind of when you score that kind of vital goal, no one supports better.
Yeah.
I know. Huge buzz around the team, and as I say, there was Icelandic thunderclaps. And when you watch the footage after the game, we were long gone at that point.
Yep.
Everyone stuck behind. I believe even there was a wee gathering at Fir Park after some of the players and that turned up.
Well, maybe.
That's a fantastic thing, though, isn't it? For the club community, just for a bit of just team spirit.
Aye, it's
is
to
what I
kind
would
of
say.
keep the celebration going. A lot of these times they just disappear up the tunnel after 2 minutes.
I know.
The final whistle.
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 Partick Whistle. That's a new brand idea. Anyway, anyone wants a Partick Thistle podcast, ring me. But no, absolutely, I'm thrilled for them. A club like that. They finished second so many times in the Premiership. Have to be commended. In terms of their play, they played at their own pace. They played their own way.
They
Bullied
played it
Aberdeen.
to the absolute advantage of themselves. Aberdeen couldn't cope. It was terrible.
I think we kind of spoke of. They didn't create much, but the opportunities that they were
took-
given to them.
They took their opportunities.
They
didn't
took, actually, yeah. I mean, I think they could have only had, 3 on target in the game. They scored all 3, maybe a couple of off targets.
They only needed to create, when they wanted to.
Well,
They had Aberdeen on a plate.
Exactly. And they just looked comfortable at Hampden, I think.
Yeah, the pitch was spot on. I can't really fault it. The pitch at Hampden gets a bit of a battering every now and again.
It was looking good, didn't it?
But it looked fantastic. So it made for a good semi-final for sort of one half.
It did.
Motherwell aren't used to playing on a great pitch. To
Well,
be
that's
honest.
it, yeah.
Their pitch isn't the best of the best.
It's had a hard time itself sometimes.
Well, that's interestingly enough. Some of the Aberdeen fans behind us, we're talking about, Pittodrie's pitches are a terrible way, and how Motherwell came up and complained that they couldn't play football. They didn't play football on that park today, so they were all knocked off, which I thought was quite an interesting point. But no, well done them, well deserved. I don't think we could grumble them for the victory.
Not at all.
No, definitely not.
Now
We've got that out the road. We
to
can
the
now-
positive, which was Motherwell, Aberdeen. I think some of people on Instagram figured out that I'm now an Aberdeen fan.
Rumbled.
Really?
Rumbled. Aberdeen fan, they clocked that. A lot of people weren't happy with about that, but they were told to get to. Frankly, we're all passionate about the team. So, I think the worst Aberdeen performance I've ever physically witnessed in the flesh. Yeah, it was bad. Really, really bad. I think the starting 11, we looked at it at the start, it was a very unusual starting 11, wasn't it?
It was all over the shop. You could pick them one by one. Lewis, fair enough, but Freddie Woodman's been in fine form.
I think Woodman would have been better.
It wouldn't have made much difference.
I think for the second goal, it just didn't look that alert.
Aye, he didn't look agile enough to kind of get down to it. But overall, it was just shocking defending. I'm not privy to what sort of the form grade has been kind of for Aberdeen in terms of Carrie Arneson, who had a shocking game.
Well, I think this all carried through from the Hearts game last week, in that the defending for the 2 goals was horrendous. The gist of the defenders here, there was 5 defenders in the squad, and all of them were centre-backs in one form or another. And I think what really let them down was full-backs. Dominic Ball was played out of position at right wing back, and had a horrific game. And I kind of do and don't blame him for that, because that is out of position. This is former Rangers man, so you'll be familiar with that. I kind of do and don't blame him for that, but he's been terrible. There's so many hangers-on in that squad, I think, now.
It's came to a natural end, and I think McInnes is the same. Like he's done as much as he probably could with Aberdeen.
Well, you look at some of the members of that squad. Rooney, been there for 4 years.
He's
Shea
done.
Logan,
Should have
4
been.
years. Niall McGinn, 6 years on and off. Mark Reynolds, 6 years. Derek McInnes, 5 years. And if you're successful, you don't really stay at a club beyond 4 years, do you, really?
No, not really.
Depends how you can.
Unless you're actually winning things, yeah.
Aye. But, oh yeah, if you're at a top team. But it's rare these days that we
Aberdeen's
see...
had chances, but...
Oh, aye. But
I always wind you up about that, being bottlers, but let's be honest,
but that's the
true.
thing as well, is that, we spoke about Falkirk this season being dejected because that's all they could achieve. So Aberdeen, all they can ever achieve is a cup final and finishing second in the league. And, how do you keep people motivated at that point? How do you inspire people to come and join that organisation? And to be honest, McInnes was actually very good in one of his interviews and said, we got the recruitment wrong. We haven't built enough depth. Because the reason that all went awry was 2 midfielders were injured. 2.
Aye, Shinnie and McLean being absent for, one was suspended. Shinnie was suspended.
He has 2 central midfielders out and has none to replace him. I mean...
But he had opportunities to kind of counter that by playing Mackay-Steven and Niall McGinn, which he refused to do. And instead play Stevie May and Adam Rooney, who are both utterly useless.
Well, I thought Rooney had sparks. He was a bit more direct than May, for one thing. But Rooney was all over the place in terms of his positioning, because he's not a midfielder.
They're as bad as each other.
Oh, I think May's way worse.
No, Rooney, he had his time, he's had his spotlight. He should have been gone at the beginning of the season, in my opinion.
He should never have signed that long-term contract that he did.
It's a joke.
Again, the starting lineup was one I've never seen in my life, and it was a system he seemed to be reluctant to change in this 4-2-3-1. And the major problem, O'Connor and Neil Acali. Oh my good grief! You had quite a good observation about Neil Acali, actually, John. The guy that went off injured. He was just punting.
Oh, he just puts the ball in the air anytime he comes near him. It was frightening. Yeah, if you watch the game back, he's only on the park for about half an hour.
Thank goodness.
But the ball would come near him, he would brick it and launch it. It was like watching Vernon Anita.
But
then, again, that's all the game was. 90% of the time was this air ball back and forth.
It was awful. It was just wasn't football. It was absolutely horrendous.
I don't think I think, Motherwell didn't win the game, Aberdeen lost it. They
I don't know. Motherwell, their tactics were absolutely spot on in that they had Aberdeen every which way. They had the midfield absolutely bossed.
The major problem Aberdeen had was the 2 goals in quick succession completely changed the game. In that, a 2-goal cushion, Motherwell could essentially just let them do what they wanted, which wasn't a lot, frankly.
Well, they were never going to break them down.
No, and then the horrendous mistake came, Arneson slipped in Curtis Main, who I didn't think was that fast. They couldn't catch him.
He just sped away, didn't it?
But he buried that one-on-one chance.
Oh, it was a great finish.
A lot of strikers now would fluff that. Morelos! Anyway, I need to watch Main and see if he goes anywhere, actually. I'm taking nothing away from Motherwell, but it's
Aberdeen were very poor, though.
It's not good. And I think the top 6 fixtures now are a huge concern.
I'd be worried. You've got Hibs breathing down your neck, even Kilmarnock now.
Well, could they drop to 5th?
Well.
He says the only consolation now is finishing second. The record against the top 6 sides is abysmal.
Yeah, he hasn't got the beating of any of them.
I said on Instagram, the team he turned out with that day showed the same tactical nous as Graham Murty. It was politely pointed out to me that Rangers have beaten Aberdeen at every occasion this season. I was like, fair point, well made. But a lot of the same frustrations came out in terms of teams like no width at all.
Aye,
In Scottish football, how do you have
he
a...
shot himself in the foot for a cup semi-final to not have your sort of best attacking players on the park.
No.
It was shambolic.
A lot of them complete ghosts as well. There we go. I think that's
That's that argument over.
yeah, well, it's not an argument. I think everyone, felt the same. They all just played as passengers, and there was nothing to shout for really. And an amazing home support was very, very disappointing.
Mm-hmm.
Also in the match, we were listening keenly to the Tannoy announcements. 2 of our top 5 songs, Darren,
Alright, okay.
came on. My Sharona, number 1.
Right.
And What's the Story Morning Glory was 4?
On your list?
Aye.
Which I can't remember. It was your list.
Thank you, John. Nice to see you're paying attention to our own podcast. And we were like...
I'm trying to remember who else was on it. Free From Desire
Who's from Desire?
was on it.
What else?
Welcome
Welcome to the quiz this week. Mini quiz.
Hey, test your knowledge and memory.
You've got one. You've got one. 4
It wasn't
and 5.
bits and pieces.
It was a bits and pieces.
No,
yeah.
that was in the honourable mentions.
Seven Nation Army, was that on it?
Don't think so.
You can't even remember.
I
your list.
know he's
Right.
struggling himself.
I'm
here.
gonna be
How can you
honest.
quiz me on this if you don't know the answers?
It was My Sharona.
Mm-hmm.
Dario G.
Oh,
Oh, I've never said
Carnival.
that one.
Carnival de Paris. It
Yep.
was What's the Story Morning Glory. It was anyway.
the top 3 of the top
But
5.
2 of the top things. So people are listening. People are listening because we discussed that there's no way that was just a coincidence.
Yep.
Didn't we? And thank you to all the people absolutely ribbing me on the Instagram for being an Aberdeen fan. Quite right, we got absolutely pumped, and I look forward to going into work on Monday with some Motherwell fans, which must be a rare thing. Motherwell fans in the workplace. Sorry, I don't mean that. It's very nasty. Anyway, moving swiftly on. Game number 2 in the semi-finals, and another pumping ensued, but this time it was worse. So it could have been worse on Saturday.
Always
Could
look on the bright side.
Celtic beating Rangers 4-0. You watch it, Darren?
I did, yes.
What did you think of the game?
Oh, well, obviously, I've got the Rangers point of view. But it's-
Devastated, yes.
Yeah, but no, I was really shocked that Rangers never turned up for the game, really. Because it felt after the last Old Firm game that actually they were going to do something. But for a cup game also, I thought here's a one-off opportunity to
Level
get to a
playing
cup
field.
final.
Yeah.
But the first half, there was just nothing at all from Rangers. Very poor.
I mean, for me, it harked back to the Old Firm derbies of like a few years ago when they were literally leagues apart. And for me, the first half was just devastating in the possession. Celtic, I think they put up a stat at one point, 6% in the Celtic half at one point. And
Crazy.
I couldn't put my finger on it necessarily, but Murty, I think, came out with quite an attacking team in the 4-3-3. And I think this was a massive game for him. Because King's come out this week and said, we're going to pick the right man.
Not the best time to say that, but that's how it felt to me. The first half, it was like the team weren't interested really. It was almost like how Murty had set them up. It was like, oh well, we're here, but it's no interest.
Look at the end of the game. They cut to like Jamie Murphy played the full 90 minutes. Didn't they see him?
He was really disappointing. Yeah.
Boy, I think the boy Docherty I saw running about a lot, not being that effective.
Well, that was another thing they were talking about that in the commentation in the game. They were saying these guys are die-hard Rangers fans, some of these players, and it's just not. You never actually seen that sort of want to against a rival team to actually want to win the game. You thought that you would see that from the players, but I've never seen that at all.
I think from the Celtic point of view, their passing and their possession was excellent. It was levels above anything I've seen this season. People. Brown actually barely moved anywhere. He didn't.
Brown had a great game, but he didn't do a lot. Really, didn't need to do a lot.
I was actually really impressed by Dembele. A lot of good hold-up play from him.
This is the first time this season that I've seen him the full game play really well.
McGregor put in a really good shift actually on the wing. It's a shame he didn't get a few more goals. And good goals. McGregor's goal was fantastic.
Oh,
it was like a dinky kind of.
The first 2 goals were really good. I thought Rogic's goal was
the
good.
Rogic turn is absolutely brilliant. Composure is brilliant.
It's a bit of a shame because that young lad McGrory was kind of run ragged.
He was very disappointing. Yeah.
I don't think he was getting much help for the boy Martin, to be fair.
No, I thought Martin had a poor game too. To be honest,
see a lot of Martin. Tavernier, but a lot of like Doran's
Dorrans. I felt Dorrans kept on turning back. It's like every time he got the ball, he would turn back. I was like, go forward.
Well, I mean, legend of commentary, who I have no respect for, Andy Walker, was constantly saying, "Oh, damn, Dorrans is much better up the pitch, much better." He's not getting anywhere. They could not get a foothold of the ball.
No, definitely not.
And I feel for the Rangers fans because there was nothing to shout for. And I think you could tell that in the atmosphere as well.
Mm-hmm.
One of the heat points of the game, Andy Halliday came off 37th minute, fuming. Absolutely fuming, and
just
they're going, Andy Halliday, ha 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 ha. And it was the Celtic fans, because
it was, yeah.
I can't be the Rangers fans, it was the Celtic fans.
Yeah,
the Celtic fans were
absolutely
bouncing.
Yeah,
and as soon as that, third, fourth goal went in,
you would be though.
Well, we know. The third goal, it was like 85 minutes, we are gone. So it's a shame for McRory, coming back from a long spell of injury. I think the other thing for Rangers, Morelos.
He had a chance again.
He had two.
Yeah, two chances, but how he missed that again is outrageous.
Darren, I mean,
we've seen him and we know how bad he is. But
it was one of these moments. I can't remember who hit it. Was it Dorrans that hit it off the crossbar? It came back out.
Yeah, I'm sure it was.
Morelos gets the rebound, right? Mm-hmm. The goal is gaping. Anywhere he can put this, slots it just by Craig Gordon, quite low, in a really easy position for him to get. Doesn't get the goal, and this was a glaring opportunity.
Oh, it was that. Yeah.
I am sorry, but every time we've seen that boy this season, every time I've watched him in one of these big matches on telly, he's been rubbish.
Yeah, it's not rubbish. It's not the first time that we've said it this season. So
he's still got a big following amongst Rangers fans. They're still. I mean, Cummings would have buried that. Kenny Miller could have put that in with his tongue. Frankly, well, ladies, I'm not making any comment, but or men, I'm not biased either are. So yeah, he wasn't there compared to Dembele.
Yeah, exactly.
Lee Griffiths even comes
Griffiths
on
to come on,
taking the mick,
Oh, they hidden the ball.
Hidden the ball up in the air. Roberts was getting in on the action, and that was the thing about Celtic is to come off the bench, Sinclair, Roberts, Griffiths.
That's what I was going to say. Yeah.
Versus Rangers who bring on Jason Holt.
Yeah,
who in my mind's a worse Andy Halliday.
It's like a tribute act.
kind of. Windass come on.
I didn't get that. Yeah. I don't know why Cummings. He's not played in recent weeks, so I don't know why he's not getting a game. But also Kenny Miller, you had him too. So, but just never happened.
Didn't get anywhere near the game. I think that Celtic midfield were in such control, and I think they just outnumbered Rangers because of that 4-3-3 formation. Just didn't have the bodies.
A lot of space for them.
A lot of space, and if you give people like Rogic room to move.
Once he's running at you, Aberdeen know themselves. It's
Don't talk about the Aberdeen defence. It's a brilliant thing though on social media. They kind of posted yesterday. That Talking Boz Instagram page was like, watching the Aberdeen defending right now, and it was Captain Jean-Luc Picard on Star Trek, with the hand in the face, like laughing away. Yeah. And then it was like how Aberdeen fans are feeling about the Rangers defence today, and it was David Mitchell just laughing. So, but it wasn't the defence's fault; they just weren't anywhere near. Mm-hmm. And I think Murty's head's now on the chopping board because of that one game, and that's not fair. That's not fair at all.
There's been too much inconsistency in that Rangers team, much like my speech.
Yeah, we're terrible broadcasters, it's fine.
I don't know, I'm not convinced. I fully expected them to actually get the job on a kind of longer term basis coming into the summer, but that was when they're on a decent run of form. They've hit a bit of a dip, and he's struggling to kind of get them back on side again. His chairman isn't helping him.
No, not
with
at all.
The comments made. I can understand why some of the players make down tools. Why would you play for a guy
and the time to make that comment? Yeah,
that as well. I think the Bates announcement as well was very poorly timed. Another guy kind of jumping ship.
I think if he had maybe won the Scottish Cup, he'd had half a chance. But
even if he had won that game,
or even won that game,
he had a very good shout of keeping that job longer term. Now though, I think probably sometime this week there's going to be big rumours about a new manager coming in.
Well, what do you know, John? Have you signed the contract?
We've had discussions.
I think interesting for you. I've been just going back through YouTube watching all these old Scottish football documentaries, and there's one about the Old Firm derby, just the Old Firm rivalry, and how desperate Celtic were to stop 10 in a row. Would it have been?
10 in a row. Martin O'Neill.
And it highlighted to me how important that was, and when Celtic 10 in a row going to be another 2 seasons?
Well, this will be their 7th.
7th.
So 3 to go, 2021, 2022.
So there's going to be a lot of panic around that club trying to stop that.
Even if they equal 9 in a row.
I know.
And the biggest problem at the moment is another double treble.
Yes.
And I don't just mean that in a Old Firm context, I mean that as in a Scottish football context.
Yeah.
That is pretty abysmal that one team can dominate not just the league or even an extra cup, but everything.
Yeah.
That's right.
And there is no competition there.
Well, I was thinking about having a discussion with a Motherwell fan the other day about how they destroy Scottish football. And I think the thing is, you pointed out a good point to me, is when we beat them, it feels amazing.
Mm-hmm.
And at the same time, they need us to be their whipping boys every week to give them...
To get to that level.
To give them that level of success that no one else has. So it works back and forth. However, looking at Hampden, right, for an example of scalability of Scottish football, 52,000 there today, no bother. 18,000 at Aberdeen, Motherwell. There's just such a large divide in between the two.
The other thing that I felt was a bit disappointing, actually, was that obviously Rangers and Aberdeen are second and third in the league. So
Currently.
Yeah, well, currently, yeah. But still, obviously Aberdeen played Motherwell and
Got bumped, aye.
Motherwell thrashed Aberdeen, obviously.
We
and
beat them in the league.
Same again.
Beat them in the league. Hold on to
And
that.
then the same with Celtic there. But for a cup game, obviously they can win a cup at the end of the season, to be in a cup final, and both the teams seem to just not lay down, but just not turn up on the day.
Aberdeen bend over to Celtic. We've never been near. Well, the nearest Aberdeen were to Celtic was last year's Scottish Cup final.
Yep.
However, other teams have done it this season. I think Dundee got a point off of them. Motherwell got a point off of them. So teams have done it.
But in that cup, I was very surprised to have 4-0 and a 3-0. Usually you have much closer.
In both games.
That's a semi-final games, and it was unbelievable.
It doesn't help interest the game though. You look at a half-empty Celtic Park, and even now a half-empty Ibrox. For some domestic games now. Whereas that would never have happened 10 years ago. Never.
It's too expensive to. Why would a Rangers fan go and watch them play Dundee when they could watch on Rangers TV?
Maybe.
That kind of thing. But getting into that point of the Aberdeen game, I reckon there would have been a slightly bigger crowd if that had kicked off at a later time.
Yes.
Given the amount of Aberdeen fans that probably would have came down to Glasgow from Aberdeen
the
on the
challenge
day.
with that, there was flipping railworks and things on.
Exactly, it's a bit of a challenge.
Also, you would have expected the Old Firm game to kick off much earlier than a 2:30. Like, that's the latest Old Firm kick-off I've heard in yonks.
Yeah.
Quite a while.
A game they've been so determined for the league not to be won at.
Aye, they could have switched around the
You thought the
fixtures.
timings would have been the other way around. Yeah.
They could have the Rangers Celtic on the Saturday. Hearts.
Hearts, glorious. Hearts.
I've got Hearts in the mind because I would have suggested that the Aberdeen Motherwell game be played in Edinburgh.
Well, if
What's
it was
the difference?
an attendance of 18,500,
Would have just about filled Easter Road.
It would have fitted into it would have fitted into Tynecastle.
Aye, which is 20,000 in Easter Road,
Aye.
slightly bigger.
I take Easter Road.
Easter Road's 22,000.
I know exactly. Would have fit.
You could have done it. It is very, very straightforward.
I think then the National Stadium becomes nigh on pointless.
Yeah, exactly.
It does.
That's the one thing.
That's the biggest problem.
And that's our problem with scalability. Again, it's a shame. Those American stadiums, they just kind of put the flags over, and it feels a bit more
I
cozy.
could kind of close it half down.
Aye.
Yep.
It's a shame that it wasn't designed with that in mind. But we built a stadium that's 100 years old and kind of continued from that.
Back when crowds were decent.
Well,
And TV didn't rule the roost.
I know. Well, that's the thing. It's kind of. And that was the thing again about the Real Madrid game and stuff we talked about. It was like all phones and stuff that were out. People.
Yeah, you always get that. And
One of the greatest moments in
Can't
Champions League
play
history, and everybody's out with their phone rather than going off their head.
It is a shame, but if you want to see quality football for good value for money, the Scottish Championship's where you need to be.
Well,
St Mirren won the championship this weekend. I just put up a wee Instagram about it there and had a comment from someone because I said, if you're looking for someone else to support in the Glasgow area, look towards St Mirren in the Premiership this season. I've just been told, you do know St Mirren's not in Glasgow. Well, I'm sorry, Paisley's not a million miles away, is it?
just on the road.
Exactly.
It's Glasgow Airport's across the road.
Exactly.
close enough.
Still Glasgow. People are dafties. Anyway, they cruised into the finish line. And they've won the league with.
They didn't cruise.
Well, they
Did
didn't bomb victory
pretty
after
much,
victory
yeah.
after victory, did they?
They kind of started a wee bit near the end. Wee bit of nerves.
Couple of draws, drawing with Livingston on the final day. Well, not the final day, but at their home stadium, Paisley 2021 Arena, which was quite nice.
Yep.
And they've won the league, and they'll be going up. So congratulations to them.
They've got a lot to thank Falkirk for.
Because Rory Loy obviously didn't sign with them. But they still tried. They got Darryl Duffy back to try and see if any old Falkirk legend would work.
I had to laugh. I follow Miles Hippolyte on Instagram,
Uh-huh.
who I don't think's played a game this season.
No, I'm pretty
and
sure
he's
he's
sitting celebrating he's won the league. Really?
Tricky that when you move, you win the league, you haven't had a part in it. It's kind of...
That's glory hunting.
Well, I mean, what a turnaround from 12 months ago, though. Playing Hibs at Easter Road just to make sure they weren't going to be in the relegation playoffs.
Yeah. I think you need to give Jack Ross a bit of credit too.
All the credit.
Brilliant. Yeah,
Huge, unbelievable job.
Turned them round. I mean, start of the season, they've never really looked in doubt, have they? I mean, I think Dundee United led early on, but
Collapsed.
completely collapsed. Livingston haven't quite been able to go the distance, and they've just always been...
Yeah, they've done well to get to where they've got to.
Be interesting to see if he sticks around, for the Premiership campaign next year.
Jack Ross, he'll be in demand. I'd be surprised if he moved though. I think give him a couple of months in the Premiership, see how they get on.
You want to move when your stock's high, though, don't you?
First couple of sackings in the English Championship, and he'll be away.
That would be quite good. Well, it depends. He said in interviews today he's an ambitious guy, but he does want to see this through. So he basically didn't answer the question. So if anyone big enough comes in,
so anybody comes in,
it's wherever he
decent.
sees St Mirren's glass ceiling is, maybe pushing top 6. I don't know. But
I think one of the best supported teams in the Championship this season. They've always been the loudest at the Falkirk Stadium. I literally had to boost the music to shut them up to 3 bars. I never usually go above 2, by the way.
They have got good support, yeah.
Really good support. A great scenes, as you would say, at the Paisley 2021 arena. After winning, I think they had the boy Stelios beating one of the fan drums and stuff like that. Incredible for them. Shame couldn't have been our team Falkirk in that position.
Well, it's a bit of signal lighting, but fair play.
Someone had to win it, and they are a big enough club to handle the Premiership, really, aren't they? So.
They'll do alright. There's enough kind of teams at the bottom of the Premiership that they should be fine for a couple of seasons.
Well, we see them another 2 times, so we can't really comment on how good the team is. We only saw them once at the start of the season.
If they can do us a wee favour on Tuesday night with a point, I'd be quite happy.
Well, Dumbarton.
That would save us.
I know. Anyway, we've also got the race for the playoffs this year. And it's quite interesting. It looks like, in terms of the Premiership, it's going to be Partick or Ross County.
Mm-hmm.
I think Hamilton, people that could be okay. We'll wait and see.
This is where the split becomes really interesting, though.
You think?
Because they will have to cut each other's throats.
Yeah.
Metaphorically speaking, Hamilton.
Well, we hope it doesn't happen the same way as it has in years gone by, where the team has known they've going to gone down quite early and just played a second string team for the last 2 or 3
rest
games.
them for the week, yep.
And they already get the rest leading up to that. In terms of who in the Championship, Livingston probably good for it in second on 59 points.
Mm-hmm.
Dunfermline in third on 55. Dundee United level on 55. They are the 3 teams currently in the playoff place. Morton a bit behind on 50. Inverness Cali on 47. Quay the South on 46.
So you're looking at Morton, Dundee United, and Dunfermline for 3rd and 4th.
I mean, Inverness aren't numerically
they're no.
I don't see Inverness.
The thing is, though, in the Championship, if anyone can put together a run of consecutive victories, it catapults you up the league because no one else can do the same thing.
There's only 2 or 3 games left as well.
Yes, very, very few. I think 3.
So this could all be settled this weekend.
It could be.
I think it could be settled by the week. There's a few games.
I think Livingston are fine.
Livingston, yeah.
Livingston will probably finish second.
I'd be surprised if Livingston didn't get second. Yeah.
I think
they deserve to get second.
I think it'll probably remain as is with Dunfermline.
The way it is now, it probably will be how it finishes. That Dundee United Dunfermline game's pretty big.
Yes.
I didn't expect Dunfermline to be quite where they are. I expected Morton to be a wee bit higher, and obviously Dundee United to be pushing for second.
Yes.
Dunfermline's went on a good run at the right time of the season.
They have. They've picked up. They're the only side that might be going into it with a bit of form.
Yep.
Dundee United, you just don't know what you're going to get. This is the biggest issue for them.
Well, that's a big issue in a playoff game, especially.
They scraped by Falkirk, who have been horrendous all season.
Yes.
Now, the wee purple patch, but it's collapsed again, unfortunately.
We're not even talking about them.
Nah, I would avoid that. So we'll see how they get on. They've obviously had the heartache of last season as well.
Yes.
So quite what their appetite will be this season will be very interesting. Livingston, you don't know what you're going to get. It's a very difficult one, but I don't think any of them will get promoted.
I mean, that is the problem with all this chatter.
I
could have summed up that 2 minute, and they won't go up.
Well, right, here's the thing. Who is going to play the Premiership team?
Dunfermline.
At the moment, I would say Livingston.
Oh, see, just in a head-to-head, I can't see Livingston doing well. I've just not seen them play well this season.
Over 2 legs, I don't know. I just don't know.
Livingston to
but
me,
you
in
provide-
front
either
of my
them-
eyes, have looked terrible.
Right. And they do go in as the worst game I've seen this season
Yes.
was Falkirk versus Livingston in the League Cup.
Uh-huh.
Tear your eyes out with a rusty spoon type. Well, I can't see them getting past either Partick or County. It wouldn't matter what their form
No,
is. They're a
I
better
couldn't see
team.
them getting past
Over
them.
2 legs.
Yeah.
The problem is the last time there was any form of competition in this playoff was the Rangers Motherwell game, which was a humongous exception in that it's ridiculous you need a team the size of Rangers to try and overcome whoever first
Motherwell, who
who
were pretty.
then
Didn't
beat
they?
them still. And then the Hamilton Hibernian thing was just
It was
miraculous.
It was just Hibs being Hibs at the time.
Oh, yeah. See, we don't really say that anymore.
No, but that was the big issue at the time for Hibs,
I
and it
miss
was
Alan
almost
Stubbs.
inevitable.
Bring him back. He used to
Stubbs.
Hibs it all the time.
Pat Fenlon, who got them relegated? It wasn't Alan Stubbs.
Hughes, was it?
It might have been Yogi.
Yogi was there.
No, Yogi wasn't there.
Was he not? No.
Was it Pat Fenlon?
Who's the Englishman?
Stubbs. Stubbs was.
No. Was Butcher there? Was that before?
Oh, maybe it was Butcher who got them relegated.
Oh, it
was
was.
Butcher.
Yeah, I think it was.
He
Actually.
had it was like almost 2 successive relegations. Relegated by Inverness, then relegated by Hibs.
I'm a big fan of Inverness. Don't you diss? Could Inverness do an Inverness Cali next year? That'll be my predictions. It'll be
Finishing top 6, not getting relegated.
they're keeping their playoff. GC, it was Austin got a hat trick.
God, didn't he?
Oh, was it? I never knew that.
He got a hat trick.
Like correct.
That's the most goals the boys
That's a shock.
scored.
The disclaimer on that one, it was Brecon.
Well, aye, that's true, but still.
He's found his level.
More goals than we got against Wigan. Aye. Terry Butcher manager till June 2014.
That was
Pat
season.
Fenlon was the manager before. A lot of big names there for Hibernian, but no, well, that sums it up. So Championship playoffs are nigh on pointless.
They are pretty
It's just
pointless.
to play for.
It's only been Hibs. Hibs have been relegated through them from the Premiership. I can't think of anyone else.
Currently, no.
No.
Oh,
no.
and I can't see it happening this season either. There's
No.
too big a gulf. And I think it, as well as you're having to play the extra games if you're the Championship team going into
They
it.
don't have the fitness the Championship teams like. See, if you watch the Championship games, when it gets to about 75-80 minutes, the pace really slows down.
It slows down pretty badly.
Totally goosed.
I think you saw that last season, Hamilton versus Dundee United.
Aye.
I think
That
that
was-
summed it up. pretty
That
much.
was an awful game of football
Yeah, it
because
was,
they were
yeah.
both goosed.
Yeah.
And it was just by sheer luck that Hamilton actually got the goal and kind of went through.
It was a dreadful game.
It was absolutely
Really
terrible,
bad.
but just looked a wee bit better, Hamilton.
I don't feel the kind of buzz for it this season though either.
Well, we're not involved. That's the main thing.
Even still.
I think, teams like Dunfermline haven't been involved in something like this for ages. I think they'll be quite excited about it.
Yeah, if it's your
Um,
club then.
Dundee
obviously.
United, Livingston, I think, are just, they've got a sore head from altitude at the moment. They're just kind of surprised.
Yeah,
I think
I
more
don't
than
think they'd
anything.
expected that, no.
Boy, Ryan Hardy, absolutely amazing. Lee Miller even scoring goals. If you leave Falkirk, you become infinitely better.
You're just
is what
a better
seems to
player.
happen. I think we're talking about, announcing for Stirling Albion a bit. We're hopefully going to see them in the playoffs. Montrose leading League 2 with Peterhead, Stirling Albion, and Stennismuir in 4th.
Stirling Stenny.
Stirling Stenny could be interesting.
That would be great.
That does sound good, yeah.
We
Couple
could
of
go and see both legs.
Aye.
At which end? Tricky.
Well, I don't think it really matters at these stadiums.
No, that's true. No segregation. Clyde in 5th, 48 points, along with Elgin City. Elgin City apparently have a very good home record, away from home not so good. So I think their travelling's got a lot to do with that. It'll be interesting to see.
League One's a really interesting one.
What's the league?
I think all the leagues are, well, especially League 1,
You're
League 2.
compelled to say
being
that. We're on a
closer.
Scottish football podcast, Darren. You can't say
I mean-
anything else.
Ayr top by 2 points over Wraith.
I'll quote you. Wraith kind of balled it, didn't they, earlier in the season?
They had a wee run of bad results there, a couple of draws.
My goodness. Ayr on
Ayer's got a
73,
good goal difference.
Wraith on 71, are both in 3rd on 56.
Aye, they,
So it's
the
like,
pair of them
it's a
have run away
different
with the
league.
but they're 2 full-time teams.
Saw Lewis Vaughan of Wraith Rovers was saying how good a move it is for Bates to go to Hamburg. I was like, how different your careers have gone, because they played together at
Yep.
Wraith Rovers. He's still
Yeah.
there. Ayr 123. Goal difference of 49. Wow.
Mhm.
That is insane. Absolutely insane.
Laura Shanklin absolutely roasting that league.
Absolutely bashing it. They put together a good wee team and
Good manager as well.
You
You
think?
like Ian McCall?
I don't mind Ian McCall. I know he's got a bad rep with Falkirk fans, but
He scares me. He looks like he's dead.
You think Rafe could beat Dumbarton?
Yes.
well, Wraith have got a shocking record in playoffs.
Yeah,
At both ends.
Oh, but coming from a season with 71 points,
Aye, they've got all the form going in.
scoring 65 goals.
I'm trying to think. They would play either Arbroath or Alloa.
Alloa. Say,
I think-
Alloa. I'm bringing back the Malaga thing.
It'll probably end up being Alloa who'll finish fourth. So Wraith Alloa. Dumbarton will play Arbroath in the other semi-final, and then it'll be the final there. I can see Dumbarton struggling against Arbroath.
I wish you could have seen John's face when he was trying to piece that all
It
together.
was a very difficult one.
Quite
That was a
magnificent
picture.
for radio. At the other end of the league, 4th are in 8th, Albion Rovers in 9th, Queen's Park in 10th. 9th Albion Rovers and 10th Queen's Park are on the same points. So could we see Queen's Park going back to, I know Albion Rovers
Looks like
are
it.
struggling. Airdrie 7th. How they've fallen as well. That used to be quite a big team.
Quite how they're a team.
What is that?
Dreadful finance.
Good stadium though.
Probably why they're in such a terrible.
Stranraer in 5th. Flipping heck. League's all over the place. I can't keep up with
Nah,
it.
it's topsy-turvy all the time. It's a great competitive league.
It is. Goals against Albion Rovers 78. Could only be worse if you were a Hawick Royal Albert in the Lowland League.
Fort William.
Aye, that's true. They were absolutely terrible. So I think that about rounds us off for this week, doesn't it?
I'd
Absolutely.
say so, yeah.
Thank you very much for listening. We've covered all the way from the Scottish Cup. Well, no, we've covered all the way through the Champions League,
Hey.
down to League 2 and abuse throwing at people on a train. So thank you very much, going from our glittering episode 50 for listening from me, Paul.
Thanks for listening, everyone, from Darren.
I got the order right this time.
Hey! So have a good evening, a good afternoon, and a good morning. Bye-bye. And that's to you too on the Instagram, by the way. Bye-bye.
Bye bye.